Prosecutors are no longer charging a Mount Horeb man accused of kidnapping and assaulting a woman.
And city engineers say the wait will be worth it when it comes to flood prevention on a busy Madison road.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning. It is Thursday, October 4th, 57 degrees out there, and we are not going to get any warmer than that, are we, Hads?
No, it's actually 48 now.
What?
Temperatures have been dropping.
So that's been lying to us?
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess.
boo. See, that's just trying to make us feel a little better.
I was like, hey, I feel how cold my hands are. It's definitely chilly outside. You got to dress a little differently today than you did yesterday. Take a live look outside. Skies are clear. You got to trust me on that, but it's still so dark.
Yeah.
Sunrise is not until 6:58, so we're just starting to see those first glimpses of the light on the horizon. Again, those skies are clear for the area, so a lot of sunshine in the forecast today. Temperatures will climb from the 40s back just to the mid-50s. It is going to be 30 degrees colder than it was yesterday. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning here in Madison. We're not seeing any major delays just yet on the Beltline or in the downtown areas. I would expect traffic volume to increase as we head towards the 7 o'clock hour. But right now, nothing happening to slow you down. And that's your first alert traffic.
That's what we'd like to see. Some of this flooding's clearing out too. We're hoping it'll stay dry for most of today.
We have a dry day today, but unfortunately rain is back tomorrow morning already.
For a while, too.
Yeah.
We'll check in with you in a bit. Thanks, Hads.
You're welcome.
6:01 your time now. Police say the UW campus is all clear this morning after they sent out a WISC alert over a man running with a gun near Memorial Union overnight. That message went out around 11, telling people to avoid the area. Police say this morning there were two men running together. They can't confirm whether either had a gun. Officers cleared that scene within a half hour of getting that report.
Also new this morning, the case against a Mount Horeb man accused of kidnapping and assaulting a woman has been dismissed. A prosecutor asked a Dane County judge to drop charges against 50-year-old Matthew Levin, and the court granted that request yesterday, according to court documents. Now, Levin was facing 4 felonies, including strangulation, kidnapping, and second-degree sexual assault. Police say he told a 25-year-old woman he would give her a ride home from a restaurant, when instead he drove her to the parking lot of an auto shop he owns in Monona and assaulted her there. According to court documents, the woman convinced Levin to go to a gas station where she was able to escape. We hope to learn more from the district attorney's office about why these charges were dropped, and we will bring you that update over on channel3000.com.
There are now charges filed against a young man and a teenager in connection with the shooting near La Follette High School that hurt a 16-year-old. A criminal complaint says 17-year-old Jamie Hayes and 21-year-old Dwan Briggs are both facing charges of attempted intentional homicide. Police say this happened last Wednesday during a scheduled fight near the high school. Both Hayes and Briggs are out on $50,000 cash bonds. They are banned from visiting La Follette. 6:03 your time now. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will be victims of domestic violence in their lifetimes. It's part of a problem we don't often talk about here in Dane County.
Just in the last week or so, police have connected a Beloit case and a suspected murder-suicide in Madison to domestic violence. Christina Laurie is live in Fitchburg this morning with more on how you can help abuse survivors and eat well on top of that. Good morning, Christina.
Well, Leah and Danica, we all have to eat, right? So all day long, you can dine out for a good cause, supporting victims of domestic abuse right here in Dane County. More than 50 local Madison area restaurants are participating in the annual Dining Out for Days event. 10% of all bills will go to the organization, which has been serving Dane County for more than 40 years now. Day says one of the biggest problems their organization faces is the stigma surrounding domestic violence and encouraging victims to actually speak out about their abuse. Restaurant owners like Chef Dave of Liliana's is part of that push to help people know they are not alone.
We have a really amazing restaurant community in Madison. You know, especially in terms of our independent and local scene. We've got a bunch of chefs who put out, and owners who put out a bunch of time and energy to help out in the community. And so I wouldn't say it's unusual to have that kind of support, but it's great to have as many as we do, all to support such an awesome cause.
Days helps more than 18,000 people every year through their helpline and provides in-person support services that are free and confidential to another 2,000 to 3,000. Now, Liliana's here in Fitchburg is just one of the more than 50 Madison area restaurants participating today. Many are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can find a full list of participating restaurants up on our website, channel3000.com. Just search Days. That's spelled D-A-I-S.
And Christina, I hate to break it to you, but I think it's a few hours at least until Liliana's opens up. But I know you've got a table reserved right there, so that's good.
I know. I have a feeling, though, the patio is probably not going to be super popular today.
No.
Good point.
Considering how cold it is.
You're absolutely right. All right, Christina Laurie reporting from Fitchburg. Thank you so much, Christina.
Over in Iowa County this morning, a Montfort man has a little bit of yard work to do. He isn't hurt, though, amazingly, after he fell 25 feet into a sinkhole when the ground near his garage gave way. Brandon Post said he screamed for help for about 20 minutes before neighbors heard him and called 911. Crews had to pull him out with a chain and a rope. News 3 sent a camera down that hole as far as they could, and there was still no sign of the bottom of that sinkhole. Brandon says he is doing okay. He's thankful to even be alive at this point. There is a GoFundMe page to help him fill in that hole so nobody else gets hurt. You can find a link to that at channel3000.com.
6:06 right now. School is back on this morning in Darlington after that district had to cancel classes yesterday for flooding. Within the last couple of hours, Darlington's police chief let us know that the Main Street Bridge is back open there. That said, there's still standing water on that road, so he's asking drivers to take it slow and proceed with caution. The Pecatonica River crested yesterday around there at nearly 16 feet. That is well above the 14 feet predicted by the National Weather Service. Streets engineers here in Madison say there is a plan to fix one of the city's most frequently flooded roads, but it won't start until 2021. The city will add a storm sewer drain in addition to the one already in place on University Avenue. Engineers say that will significantly reduce street flooding at Midvale and Shorewood Boulevards. We see that a lot in that area. Now, initially, drivers were supposed to see a new storm drain installed by next year, but the city decided to budget for a more large-scale plan on University instead.
As we continue to deal with storms and showers in our forecast, Madison Streets Division is looking at just how much flood damaged stuff has been thrown out over the last month. Almost 475 tons have been collected so far. A city committee will get a report on that number today. Members are also talking about another type of garbage. They want to make some PSAs to get people to try and keep leaves out of their gutters so phosphorus doesn't end up in Madison's lakes. Yard waste collection for the city is underway this week. 6:07 your time now. Lawmakers over on Capitol Hill are talking about a problem you'll run into here in Wisconsin if you drive far enough outside the city.
We're 10 miles from the Capitol and we can't get internet.
That right there is Linda McIsaac. She lives in the town of Dunn, just outside of Madison. She fought for rural internet for years and is just finally getting it installed this fall. Today in Washington, D.C., a Senate committee is looking at access to broadband internet outside of cities across the country. Here in Wisconsin, Governor Walker has handed out millions of dollars in grants for rural broadband that don't always end up in access for people like Linda. Just last month, he announced $7 million for new grants for 14,000 homes in the state. All right, there are a few more permits to get and hoops to jump through, but plans to turn a church into a community center for kids are moving forward in Sun Prairie. We'll tell you more about that after the break.
And that breeze is not going to quit today. Hattie says it won't be quite as gusty as what we had yesterday, but it will certainly cool down a bit. She has a look ahead to the weekend with spotty chances for showers pretty much through midway next week. Yep. That's next on News 3 this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. What a change over the last 24 hours. Take a look at high temperatures yesterday. Pretty impressive even for the first part of October. We were well into the 80s, just 1 degree shy of tying a record here in Madison. The record 85 set back in 2005. But Janesville topped at 88 and Boscobel even flirted with 90 degrees yesterday. It was quite warm and even a little bit muggy across the area, but today will feel very different. We had some precipitation yesterday in the form of showers and thunderstorms. Some spots picking up around an inch, but the heavy rain was definitely not as widespread, and it really split, moved right around the Madison area, only a trace at the airport. Now this morning, we don't have any rain left in the area. A lot of wind, but skies are already clear. Take a look at satellite and radar trends, and you'll notice that we have clear skies here across southern Wisconsin. There are a few clouds developing to the north, but we still should have plenty of sunshine through the day today. A big contrast in temperatures across the region. Very colorful map this morning. 61 in Chicago, 45 here in Madison, down to 38 in Minneapolis, and just 26 this morning in Fargo. Here's a closer look at our viewing area. Camp Douglas has now dropped to 38. Baroque was there as well. It's 41 in the Dells, 44 in Platteville. Janesville's dropping as well. You're down to 52. A strong northwest wind this morning. You may be hearing that here in the patio. The winds are howling in the trees behind me. Those winds from the northwest will gradually shift to the northeast today and diminish as we head through the afternoon. So that's good news. Not quite as breezy as it was yesterday. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. We do have a lot of sunshine in the forecast today, but you'll definitely want a jacket. Temperatures will top only in the mid-50s this afternoon. Now overnight tonight, look for an increase in the clouds with some showers and isolated thunderstorms developing by Friday morning. A couple of rounds of rain expected Friday, one through the morning, and then another one headed our way later on Friday night into Saturday morning. That second round could contain some heavy rain, and our precipitation potential is indicating over an inch of rain is possible right now for far southeastern Wisconsin. So watch that next system. If it shifts even a little bit further north, we're going to be talking about higher rain totals for Madison. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Temperatures stay cool through the weekend with highs right around 60 degrees. We do get back into the 70s next week, but one thing that remains consistent is that unsettled weather pattern. We are stuck with it for the next almost 10 days. Now, here's a look at your first alert traffic this morning with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, it's another quiet start on the Beltline this morning. No delays to worry about heading east or westbound. Just look for things to continue to pick up over the next couple of hours. Looking at other routes here in Dane County, not too bad. Just a few brake lights on the northbound side of Verona Road approaching the Beltline ramps. No volume-related issues downtown around the Capitol Square and on UW campus. Things are moving well so far. And other main routes heading into the city, they're cruising along at the usual speeds with no crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Hattie. The folks behind a new Boys and Girls Club in Sun Prairie are working to get a conditional use permit from the city this morning, even after neighbors said they weren't too sure about the project. The State Journal reports City Council unanimously approved spending $200,000 to help renovate the Peace Lutheran Church on Windsor Street for that project. Interim CEO Rod Mitchell says it will serve around 175 kids and teens every day. It could be open in the next few months. Some people living in the neighborhood were worried about property values and safety, but Mitchell told the paper he's talked with neighbors to address those concerns.
Dozens of homeless veterans across Wisconsin are about to get a roof over their heads thanks to some help from the federal government. The Department of Housing and Urban Development is giving almost $250,000 to the VA here in Wisconsin to help find permanent housing for 51 veterans here. It's part of a rent assistance program. The money will help those vets living in Madison, Milwaukee, and up north in the Upper Peninsula. Now, researchers on the UW campus are taking time to talk this fall about how to make us happier and healthier. There's a 2-year, $1 million grant available to research teams trying to highlight mental health and social well-being. Those teams can submit proposals looking into anything from improving physical health to promoting a happier society to even making the economy stronger.
2 hospitals in our area are going to be recognized later today for their efforts to hire people with disabilities. The state's Department of Workforce Development will be at UW Hospital to give that facility and Madison's VA Hospital awards. It's all to celebrate their commitment to recruiting and hiring people of all abilities. There's a joint ceremony this morning at 10 a.m.
A Janesville family is waiting for the state to approve a drug that could be the only option left for their daughter. Adeline Hiles has a rare form of epilepsy that causes uncontrollable seizures. She has 5 to 6 seizures every night. Each can last up to an hour, and sometimes she even stops breathing. The 6-year-old has 6 different medications, but her parents say they're not really working anymore. Her doctor believes, though, that Epidiolex could be the answer. It's an FDA-approved drug, but it does contain CBD, an active ingredient in marijuana. Adeline's parents are confident it could help if the state would let them access it.
You know, this is a girl that's got really severe medical issues. I mean, and we're buying stuff out of a health food store that's labeled as a supplement to take care of it. And it's actually more effective than the thousands of dollars of medications that we have in the cupboards right now from the pharmaceutical companies.
The waiting game continues for the Hiles family. The DEA just scheduled the drug they're trying to get last week, but now the Wisconsin Controlled Substances Board says they have to wait at least 30 days from that point to get their hands on it. Amanda Quintana will have more on Adeline's struggles coming up tonight on News 3 at 10. 6:17 right now. It's pretty apparent that jobs involving computers in any way, whether that's coding or app development, they are not going anywhere. And UW-Madison is looking at expanding its tech programs in order to meet that growing need. We'll tell you how coming up.
Addie's pulling out all of her computer models to see just how much cooler it's going to feel out there today compared to yesterday. Sunrise just starting. It's officially about a half an hour away. She'll let you know how many layers to pack for the kiddos when News 3 This Morning continues.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. We have clear skies this morning across southern Wisconsin. Take a look at the satellite and radar maps. No rain in the area. We get a day break, at least, from the rain. Here's a look at our temperatures, though. It is quite chilly. We're down to 45 now in Madison, 40 in the Dells. We even have some 30s on the map to the north, 38 in Camp Douglas and 37 in Viroqua. Your bus stop weather forecast, you'll want a jacket or at least a big sweatshirt this morning. Temperatures will start in the 40s as you head to school, climbing to highs only in the mid-50s as you head home this afternoon. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, bring the jacket. Thank you, Hattie. So those running a frack sand mine in western Wisconsin will not face charges from the state after that mine released millions of gallons of wastewater into nearby waterways. You may remember back in May that parts of the Trempealeau River turned orange after 10 million gallons of water was released from a retention pond. A bulldozer actually fell into that pond and rescue crews couldn't find the contractor operating it, which led to it being emptied. Wisconsin Public Radio reports water samples tested by the DNR showed high levels of arsenic, copper, and lead in the Trempealeau River. However, experts say that those levels were still below industry standards. The DNR decided against finding the company that emptied the pond because state statute allows for wastewater to be released in life-threatening emergencies.
The UW Board of Regents is starting 2 days of meetings today in Kenosha at UW Parkside. At that meeting, Athletic Director Barry Alvarez will present the results of a review he ordered into the health and safety of his UW athletes. The Regents Research, Economic Development and Innovation Committee is also going to get an update on Foxconn. Back in August, UW-Madison announced a research partnership with the tech company, which includes a $100 million gift to the school to fuel engineering research.
UW-Madison is now looking at adding a new school for students interested in computing and data. A new report commissioned by the university says that field is growing. That's not a surprise, and students need to be able to take advantage of that. The UW says computer science is the most popular major on campus. The College of Letters and Science is now starting to look at how to restructure and expand those studies. It's also looking for a new leader to potentially head up that part of the school.
If you're looking for a new part-time position, there is an opportunity to learn more about the options we have here in the Madison area. Madison College is wrapping up its part-time job fair over at the Truex campus today. Employers will be on hand to answer questions and take a look at your resume. The companies that will be there include Apple, Northwestern Mutual, and Union Cab. That event goes from 10:30 until 1:30. 6:24 your time now. There is an opportunity for you to dine out and support a good cause all at the same time. We'll tell you more about the group you could be helping by going out for a nice meal.
And you have a few weeks to get used to the new parking rules in Janesville before police start putting tickets on your windshield. The day's top stories are next on News 3 this morning. Senators on Capitol Hill officially have the FBI's report on the man up for a seat on the nation's highest court. We will tell you what's next in the confirmation process.
And eat local, help local. If you dine out today at one of more than 50 participating Madison area restaurants, 10% of your bill will go to a really good cause. I'll have more on the people and organization you'll help coming up.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. Right now it is 6:28 on this Thursday, October 4th, and we are now 45 degrees out there. It is just getting colder and colder as the morning goes on.
Oh yeah, Hattie's got the layers on this morning. She's outside on the weather patio where that temperature has been dropping by the minute this morning, Hattie.
Yeah, you're right. You know, when we came into work this morning, temperatures were still in the 60s, so it's almost 20 degrees colder than when we got into work just a couple of hours ago. Skies are clear, though. Take a look at this view from the WISC-TV sky cam. If you look carefully, you can see the Capitol in the distance. I have the camera zoomed as much as I can on the Capitol dome, but no issues with visibility this morning. Skies are clear. Temperatures are the big weather story today. Yesterday, we hit highs in the 80s. Today, we're going to be 30 degrees colder than that. 45 right now in Madison, 40 in the Dells, 38 this morning in Camp Douglas. Over the next 12 hours, temperatures are going to climb, but not a lot. Only mid-50s today, 56 for the high. Strong northerly winds will shift to the northeast and begin to diminish later on this afternoon. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic this morning. On the roads here in Madison, just a few brake lights near Stoughton Road, but otherwise no major issues on the Beltline or in the downtown areas. Nothing happening to slow you down either elsewhere across the area, so travel looking good at this hour. And that's your first alert traffic.
Thank you so much, Hattie. 6:29 right now. A Beloit man is expected in court next week after telling police he stabbed and hit the mother of his child with a hammer multiple times for trying to leave with their son. 29-year-old Jonathan Castro is officially charged with 5 felonies and a misdemeanor, including attempted homicide. According to a criminal complaint, Castro's mother was the one to call police Monday night to report her son had attacked the woman. Police found that woman inside, covered in blood with a gash on her head. She did suffer a skull fracture and significant head trauma, but is expected to survive. Their baby was reportedly in the house at the time of the attack. Castro remains in jail on a $100,000 cash bond this morning. He's expected to be back in court next Tuesday afternoon.
After that case and the murder-suicide that happened on the city's east side this past Saturday, domestic violence is once again on the minds of many here in Madison.
Today, more than 50 restaurants in the Madison area are supporting a nonprofit that supports thousands of survivors. Now, Christina Laurie is live in Fitchburg this morning at one of those restaurants, anxiously awaiting for Liliana's to open, trying to get some of that jambalaya. Christina, good morning.
Good morning, Danica and Leah. 10% of all bills paid here at Liliana's today will go towards DAYS. That stands for Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, which has been serving the people here in Dane County for more than 40 years now. DAYS helps more than 18,000 people each year through their helpline and provides free, confidential, in-person services for 2,000 to 3,000 people as well. And that number continues to grow every year. What makes this organization unique is that it's not a local affiliate of a national chapter. It started here in Dane County and it only serves people of Dane County. DAYS says the number of people their organization serves grows every year. Last year they raised more than $10,000 through their Dine Out Through 4 Days initiative. They're hoping to top that this year, and you can help them do just that. If you head to our website, channel3000.com, we have a full list of all of the more than 50 participating restaurants. Just search DAYS, that's spelled DAIS, a little different than it sounds.
All right, for a bite of Liliana's cornbread, some of their jalapeno butter, and helping out folks in the community, save me a seat there, Christina.
Hey, I have my mindset on those beignets.
Oh, yes. All right, I'll meet you there in a couple hours. Our Christina Laurie reporting for us this morning. Thanks, Christina.
6:32 right now, and the State Department of Justice is launching a new system to improve transparency about the number of domestic violence cases here in Wisconsin. Attorney General Brad Schimmel's announcing a new interactive data dashboard that will provide information to residents, policymakers, and researchers. It includes data on law enforcement reporting, charging, and case processing as well. Now, Schimmel hopes that this will all help with domestic abuse prevention. And aside from the numbers on the page, he says that we need to support survivors. The latest data out just this week shows 62 people died as a result of domestic violence in 2017.
On Capitol Hill, senators will start to look at the FBI's report on Brett Kavanaugh. That investigation comes after the Supreme Court nominee and his accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, testified before a Senate committee last week. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says debate on the issue will end Friday. A final confirmation vote could take place as early as Saturday. There is a walkout happening in downtown Madison today as part of a nationwide show of support for Dr. Ford. Sexual assault survivors and their allies will rally on the UW campus later this afternoon. That walk starts at Library Mall at 4.
6:33 right now. At least 4 families are out of their homes this morning after a fire at a Janesville apartment complex last night. The initial call came in around 8:15 for a fire on Morningside Drive just east of the interstate. Firefighters say it started with a propane grill on the deck, but that fire spread, forcing everyone living in that building to evacuate. No one was hurt. The Red Cross is helping families, though, who could not be in their units overnight.
There is an important conversation happening at the World Dairy Expo today about keeping farmers and their animals safe. Experts with the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection will join others for that safety symposium, focusing on the latest OSHA policies for farmers and the stressors that can come with dairy production. There are also conversations about safety training for workers who don't speak English. That event runs from 9 until 2 today over at the main exhibition hall. The expo runs through Saturday. All right, if you park in downtown Janesville, you might want to follow the rules posted for time limits in those spots. Take it from someone who's had her own fair share of parking tickets. Police in that city are now noticing how often people are violating their parking rules. So they're starting to up their enforcement efforts. Throughout the month, officers will start to write warnings to try and get people to voluntarily follow those rules. But come November, you will find a ticket on your windshield. To make it easy, we're going to put up a map of where those restrictions will be enforced. That'll be on our website, channel3000.com.
Just follow the signs, folks. Just do it. It's going to make life easier.
You always think you're going to get away with it, though.
Nope.
I never do.
As soon as you start thinking that.
I had one on my car this morning.
Oh no, Leah. Goodness gracious.
So
we're starting a GoFundMe page for Leah's tickets, so there you have it. 6:34 right now. A reminder, Brewers fans, first pitch right after 4 o'clock this afternoon as Milwaukee tries for its first playoff run since the iPhone 4S was released. We will look ahead to today's game at Miller Park.
And all the times Danica and I, the rest of the morning show, voted for our favorite Rock County pup. Didn't pan out quite like we hoped, but we will be able to see that little guy, Rex, in a national magazine soon. We'll update you on his quest to be the cutest rescue dog in the country when News 3 This Morning returns.
Welcome back. 6:38 right now. A beautiful sunrise out there this morning, but we want to share a very different My Morning picture. Mike Schwartz sent this one in, and it is just priceless. This is when your DirecTV goes out because of the rain and your news anchor, meaning me, makes a really weird face.
Do you know how hard it is to sit next to such a beautiful woman every morning?
Okay, look at, are you kidding me? Goodness gracious, that is just... I am so sorry. I don't know what I was smelling or talking about, but it must have just been rank because that face is only a mom could love, I tell you.
Oh, boy. I still love you.
Mike,
that's all right.
That's just a great shot. Thank you so much for sending it in. We appreciate it.
What does your morning look like? Like that? Maybe a little better.
Maybe a little better.
Take a picture, post it on our Facebook page or on Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites every morning right here on the program. All right, to everyone who has donated to our Coats for Kids campaign, we want to take a minute to thank you for your generosity. We are up to 4,280 coats with just a few days left to donate. If you have an old or outgrown winter coat in the back of your closet, please consider passing it along to someone in our community who really needs it. You can drop it off at any Clinky Cleaners or Lucier Family YMCA.
The Middleton Police Department is now accepting donations to help bring a canine onto that force. The furry officer would help track suspects or missing people, locate evidence, and detect narcotics. He or she would also be involved in community events. There are a number of ways to contribute to the canine cause. We have all that information up on channel3000.com.
I can't stop laughing about
I know.
that News 3 picture. But here's another heartwarming story. You might want to pick up the next issue of People magazine to see one of Rock County's very own in the pages. This is Rex. We have told you about him before. He's from Janesville. No. He was voted as a runner-up in the magazine's contest for World's Cutest Rescue Dog. Totally should have won, right? Mm-hmm. Rex was born with a defect that left him with underdeveloped front legs.
I love that
He's
picture.
so happy. He lost to Penny. That's a golden retriever who was rescued from an abusive past. That edition of People magazine will be available on stands on Friday.
No snarl here. No snarl from this side of the desk. That is just, he's just such a cutie patootie. We are so sad he didn't win, but way to go, Rex.
Runner-up, not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not a bad day for Rex to go out for a walk.
No.
He's got the fur to handle the drop in temperature. Hattie says we will only be around 60 degrees today compared to the temperatures near 80 we saw yesterday. Check out that beautiful sunrise, though. She is talking about rain chances through the weekend. Hattie's first alert forecast is up next.
But first, it's October 4th. We want to say happy birthday to Everett and all the little kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us here on News 3 This Morning.
Welcome back. None of the Brewers' starting pitchers will actually start this afternoon against the Rockies as Milwaukee starts postseason play at Miller Park.
Brewers manager Craig Counsell says he's starting his relief pitchers for the series opener. Whoever that is will go up against the National League's home run leader, Nolan Arenado. He hit 38 home runs total in the regular season. First pitch is at 4:07 this afternoon. You can catch it over on Fox Sports 1.
Not a bad day for the roof to be open, Hads, before this rain kind of moves back into our area.
Yeah, we actually have one dry day in the forecast, but a lot of rain coming up over the next 10 days. You can see temperature-wise still up and down, a little bit below normal for the end of this week, but then we're back into the 70s, close to 80 even on Tuesday of next week. But again, there is a lot of rain in the forecast. Here's the GFS precipitation potential for the next week going through next Wednesday evening. It is indicating anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inches of rain possible across all of Wisconsin for the next week. Now, our fall color report, even though it's been pretty cloudy and wet, some pretty good color showing up in the central and northern parts of the state. Not a lot, just patches of color here in southern Wisconsin. But if you want to take a trip this weekend, they should be able to see some pretty nice colors. Peak color is expected this weekend or next for the northern part of the state. And it's a little bit later here, mid to late October for the southern half of the state. Here's a look at satellite and radar trends. We will have a lot of sunshine today. Skies are clear across southern Wisconsin. The front from yesterday is well off to our east and relatively quiet weather pattern settling in at least for today. It will definitely be cool as this Canadian high pressure builds into the area. Northerly winds out ahead of that system will keep temperatures in the 40s this morning, climbing only to the 50s this afternoon. Moisture returns the area tonight and tomorrow morning, and then again it's just a parade of storms moving through the area. The next one coming late Friday into Saturday, bringing some potential heavy rain to parts of southern Wisconsin. Take a look at the temperatures this morning. Still 72 in Indianapolis, 61 in Chicago this morning, 45 here in Madison, drops to 38 in Minneapolis, and only 27 this morning in Bismarck. So quite a change in temperature over just a couple of hundred miles. Temps are generally in the 40s this morning. Janesville still at 52 and Camp Douglas is 38. Those are the extremes. Everyone else at least in the 40s. It definitely feels chilly though compared to this time yesterday. Winds are from the north-northwest 10 to 20 miles an hour, keeping that chill in the air. Now, as we head towards the afternoon, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-50s, 55 in Middleton, as well as Fort Atkinson. The wind should gradually begin to diminish a little bit. Temperatures only in the mid-50s to the west, 54 in Prairie du Chien, 55 in Mineral Point, and to the north, we're looking at Baraboo topping at 53 degrees, 53 as well in Mauston. Here in Madison, our temperature today will top at 56 degrees. If you need a reminder, yesterday it was 84, so dress appropriately. You're gonna need a few more layers today. 59 tomorrow. The rain chances are back in the forecast, and then it's pretty much on and off chances for rain through the next week. Here's someone that's pretty happy about all the fur this morning, I think. Max is so cute in Belleville. Max won't have any issues with the temperature today.
He's all right.
Definitely not. Oh, he is such a cutie. I just want to hug him. He's all fluffy. I know, he's all fluffy. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The morning sprint is up next.
6:51 time now for the morning sprint. Hattie says layer up. She's having a big temperature drop compared to yesterday.
And Christina Laurie is live at a restaurant in Fitchburg with how we can all support victims of domestic abuse. But we start in Dane County Court, where we're hoping to hear from prosecutors about why charges were dropped against a Mount Horeb man accused of kidnapping and assaulting a woman. 50-year-old Matthew Levin was facing 4 felonies, including strangulation, kidnapping, and second-degree sexual assault. Police claimed he told a 25-year-old woman he would give her a ride home from a restaurant when he instead drove her to the parking lot of an auto shop he owns in Monona and sexually assaulted her. Court documents say the woman convinced Levin to go to a gas station where she was able to escape.
A young man and a teenager officially faced charges this morning in connection with a shooting near La Follette High School. A 16-year-old was hurt in that shooting. According to a criminal complaint, 21-year-old Dwan Briggs fired multiple shots on that Wednesday morning last month. He told police 17-year-old Jamie Hayes told him to pull the trigger during a fight. Hayes denies telling Briggs to shoot. Both now face multiple felonies and are not allowed near La Follette High. They are scheduled to be back in court a week from today.
We are waiting to learn more about the man who shot 7 officers in an upscale neighborhood in South Carolina yesterday. One of those officers, who had just celebrated 30 years on the force, was killed. It happened when police were trying to serve a search warrant in that area. We're hoping to learn the name of the suspect this morning, along with information on the condition of the 6 other officers.
A Beloit man is expected in court next Tuesday afternoon after police say he hit the mother of his child with a hammer multiple times for trying to leave with their son. 29-year-old Jonathan Castro is officially charged with 5 felonies and a misdemeanor, including attempted homicide. The victim is expected to survive. Their baby was reportedly in the house at the time of the attack.
October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and today more than 50 Madison area restaurants are teaming up to help raise money for area men and women who fall victim to violence. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will become victims of severe physical violence in their lifetimes. Today, more than 50 local Madison area restaurants will donate 10% of all bills to DAYS, Domestic Abuse Intervention Services. The local group helps more than 18,000 people each year through their helpline and provides free confidential in-person services too. You can find a list of all participating restaurants on our website, channel3000.com.
Thanks so much, Christina. The state's Department of Justice has a new system to improve transparency about domestic abuse cases here in Wisconsin. Attorney General Brad Schimmel announced a new interactive data dashboard that will provide data to residents, policymakers, and researchers. It includes information on law enforcement reporting, current charges, and case processing.
And we finally have sunshine in the forecast today. Check out the sunrise in Platteville this morning. This is a gorgeous one. Good morning, Platteville and all of southern Wisconsin. You'll want some extra layers today. Temperatures are down in the 40s this morning, and we're looking at highs only climbing into the middle 50s this afternoon. We'll be dealing with a north wind today rather than a south wind like yesterday.
Thank you so much, Hattie. A lot of communities very thankful for that dry weather. Darlington's police chief says the Main Street Bridge is back open, but there's still standing water on that road. School there is back on this morning as well after the district had to cancel classes yesterday for flooding. The Pecatonica River crested yesterday at nearly 16 feet there, 2 feet above what was predicted.
Back in Madison, a city committee will get an update today on how much flood-damaged stuff has been thrown out over the last month. Almost 475 tons have been collected so far. Members of that committee are also talking about another type of garbage. They want to remind people to try and keep their raked up leaves and yard waste out of the gutters so phosphorus doesn't end up in Madison's lakes. Yard waste collection for the city is underway this week.
On Capitol Hill this morning, results of the latest FBI investigation on Brett Kavanaugh are officially in the hands of the Senate Judiciary Committee. An initial vote to confirm the Supreme Court nominee is set for the Senate floor today, which means a final confirmation vote could happen as soon as Saturday. The FBI was ordered to look into Kavanaugh's past again following testimony from Christine Blasey Ford, where she detailed an alleged assault she says happened at a high school party.
The Dane County Boys and Girls Club is working to get a conditional use permit from Sun Prairie this morning, as a new center in that city is one step closer to reality. The State Journal reports City Council unanimously approved spending $200,000 to help convert the Peace Lutheran Church there. Some neighbors living around the area had expressed concerns about safety and property values. The new center will serve around 175 kids every day.
UW-Madison could soon have a school for computer science after a report encouraged the school to look into expanding opportunities in the field. The UW says computer science is the most popular major on campus. The College of Letters and Sciences is starting to look at how to restructure and expand those studies. It's also looking for a new leader to head up that part of the school.
When the Brewers take the field for the first playoff game in Miller Park in 7 years, none of their starting pitchers will be on the mound. Manager Craig Counsell says he'll be starting his relief pitchers for this series opener. Whoever that is going to go up against the National League's home run leader, Nolan Arenado, who hit 38 home runs in the regular season. First pitch is at 4:07 this afternoon on Fox Sports 1.
6:56 right now. Let's turn it over to one of our many MVPs. That is Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Good morning, Josh.
Morning, guys. Already some brake lights on the westbound Beltline near the Stoughton Road exit. Look for delays to continue to grow on that side, but right now just plan an extra minute or two. John Nolan, you're tapping the brakes at the Rimrock and Olin Avenue intersections moving into the downtown Madison area. Other main routes heading into the city, they're still cruising along at the usual speeds right now with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
And we have a beautiful sunrise this morning. Here's the view from the WISC-TV sky cam. Sun comes up at 6:58 this morning, so just 1 minute from now. Here's a look at our temperatures today. It is going to be a chilly day today. Temps are starting in the 40s this morning. We'll climb to highs in the mid-50s this afternoon. At least we have a dry forecast, though, today.
No kidding. I think we need it. And if you want to follow along, because there are chances for storms overnight, right?
Yeah.
Yep, starting tomorrow, overnight tomorrow.
If you want to watch the radar for yourself, be sure to download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. Enjoy that sunrise, though. Wow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.